Alright guys, this is my unit here. I just upgraded recently to, this is a 10 by 15, and I just got these shelves put in as well. Give me a little more room. Everything was kind of on the floor, now I can get it up and out, kind of like over here. So I'm going to pull these carts out because they're kind of in the way, and I'll give you a little more brief rundown on what I bring in my 1 ton, more like a 1.5 ton, and how I have my storage unit set up. Alright, so I got a little more space now. I pulled out the 2 carts I have, and let me show you what those are. So I've got a C-stand cart here. It's like a makeshift C-stand cart at the moment. I'm going to get rid of it eventually. It's so I can kind of just wheel it out, wheel the C-stands out right to the side door so I can put them right in the van there. But now since I've got these shelvings, I'm just going to end up hooking it on the side here. I'm going to put them all like this eventually. It just holds there. And then the legs go right into the bottom there. And I can put all 10. I've got 10 C-stands and a Gary Coleman. And then get rid of this cart just to have some more room. The other cart I have here is a Magliner cart. I call it the Mugliner. I built it myself for like $500. I didn't feel like paying a lot for a cart when I could buy lights and stuff like that. That's kind of more important to me. So this works for what it is. It looks like a piece of shit, but it's all metal construction here, and I put my own like carpet here from just Home Depot. It's the same look. It looks exactly like a regular Magliner, but it's less than half the price. So usually I put some lights on here, sandbags, wheel it around on set. This whole thing does collapse down. This top shelf will go on there. It's just like a regular Magliner. The sides fold down, and these handles here go underneath. So very handy dandy. Everything just used to be on the floor here, which was a real pain. And in my old unit, it was a 5 by 12, so I would have to take everything out just to get to where I needed to be. If I wanted something in the back, I would have to take everything out, and then it's just a pain. So now I can actually get in and out without having to take everything out if something's in the back of the storage unit. So let me show you my lights and kind of grip and what I have here. I got my 4x's over here on the side, just laying up against the side here. That's the best I can do for now, and it works fine. I've got my selection of floppies. I got 4 floppies. Actually, I think I got 5. There's still one in the packaging back here. I've got, the 5 floppies. I've got a poly silk. I've got 2 250s that I skinned myself, and I built these frames myself as well. These are just straight up 5/16 thick flat bar, I believe, and then I just did the pins, welded on the little side. These 2 black ones I made myself. This one here is one from Matthews, as you can see, very similar, but it is aluminum, so it's a little lighter. These are steel, so they are kind of heavy, but they get the job done, and they're easy to fix if I need to, because the aluminum tends to bend. I had this opal here. This is a 410 opal. I had that on set once, and the pin just got nastily bent from the wind, because aluminum kind of bends a little more, so the steel does resist the bending a little bit better. So I got the 410 opal, and then I've got a Ultra Bounce 4x in there. It also doubles as a floppy sometimes when you need it, or a courtesy more. It's not the same material as the floppy, but it can still work. Then for 2x3s, I've got kind of a sandwich here. I call it a hamburger, because you got your buns, you got the 2 solids, then you got your cheese, the poly silk, your lettuce, which is the single net, and tomato, which is the double net, and then you got your condiments, like your Lee 250. I don't have any opal in 2x3s right now, but usually I just end up using the 4x or just something real small, like a 1x2. I've got 2 bounces over here. One of these ripped straight up, got broken from the wind. So I have 2 of them right now. Yeah, if I need it, I usually just bring 1, but I got to back up. I can cut down to like a 1x1 or something, like a pizza box. Over here, I've got some 1x2s. I keep them in this little box from Canvas Grip, because these tend to get very dinged easily. So in here, I just got the solid, a poly silk. I got another 250, which is one I made myself. Nice construction. These are super easy to make, and they're not as heavy as the big ones, so they're even better than the aluminum. And then I got another solid. So I try to keep the solids on the outside, protected somewhat, and then I just keep it around in this box, because I don't know, these seem to get busted up the most, so I keep them in the box. All right, moving over to the stands here. Usually on the 1-ton package for my van, I bring 2 combos. I got 2 American combos here, 1, 2. I've also got 2 rollers. One's a high roller, this American here. It's a nice one. Very heavy, you know, but it's nice. Then I got like a medium roller, which is this Matthews older model, but it works great. Sometimes I just bring this one because it's smaller and easier, especially when I got a Vortex 8 over here, which is very heavy. And sometimes just to put it on the roller is super easy just to move it when you need to instead of using a combo. I've also got a low boy back there. I've got 2 low boys. One's at home right now, but low boy here, hard to see, but that all usually comes standard on the package. For boxes, I've got 2 sets of Apple boxes here, and I've got 2 beaver boards that are baby pin, and then I got 1 junior sized beaver board as well. And I also have a butt plug that can go in there, so I can basically have 3 of these if I wanted to. All the sandbags back here, nicely tucked away. I've got about 4 ball busters and 10 to 12 20-pounders, which usually get the job done for my kit. Over here, I've got a mirror board right here. This is just something I got from Goodwill for like $8. Actually, the sticker's still on there. There's another video on this. I go over why I just bought this instead of trying to get a reflector board. I want a reflector board, but I just can't justify the price to pay like $900 even if they're used, when I can just go get one of these for $8. If it breaks, then, you know, whatever, I get another one. Speaking of breaking, I did have another one back here that did break, but it broke after the show on the ride back, so it wasn't a big deal. That was like $6. And I got another one of these in the back as well if this one happens to break. But these are great for, you just take a platypus, clamp it right on the side, and it acts just like a regular reflector board, except it's a hard side mirror. Some of the reflector boards have like a soft side mirror, which is nice, which you can't really do with this kind of Goodwill setup buying, but it does work for a hard mirror side bounce. So I've got an 8x frame here that comes on the truck, and I've got a 6x frame as well, both American. 6x right here. That's going to go back over by the 8x eventually once I organize a little better. And then I've got the rags down here in just a crate, in both 6 and 8x sizes. I got everything from like full, half, and quarter silk. And then I got solids, bounces, unbleached muslins, and a few others like a checkerboard. So a good selection. I don't have anything in the 12x. I just can't fit a 12x on my truck. I could get one of those breakdown 6x6 frames, but they tend to, I've used one before and it seems like they want to bend all the time. And I would rather have just a straight up full frame and not the half frame. That's not the greatest. So once I get to that point, like a truck, then I'll get the 6 or 12x frame. So let's talk about lighting. A lot of lights in here, both LED, tungsten, and HMI. Starting here, which is one of the ones I use quite a bit, is just a standard older model ArieSun 1200. This thing is fantastic, and you can pick them up pretty cheap now. I think I got this for like $800 with the ballast and everything, and the lenses and the barn doors. So great deal. I got the lenses back there in a crate. Great thing I still like about the old Arrie HMIs is you get the actual lenses, so you can do a full flood, you can do a spot, and you can do in the middle like a medium flood if you wanted to, without using the actual flood on the unit, because it really doesn't do much. All it is moving the bulb forward and back. It's not like an old Mole Richardson where the bulb is up and down. The bulb is like perpendicular, so it doesn't really flood and spot that much as it would a tungsten. So having the lenses to do it is a feature I like quite a bit. Old school. Down here I've got a kit of 2 Joker 400s, 2 electronic ballasts. That's a great kit I picked up pretty cheap. They're older now. They still have the lenses just like the Arrie does, where you pop them in. You got a stipple lens for full flood, and then you got like a medium, a spot, and a Fresnel. So it's really nice. Those are my 2 HMI units. I also have an older, this is one I started with. It's an old Sunray. This thing is freaking old. If I can get in here and show you. It's an old Sunray 1200 from Burbank. It's a Lexus. Here it is here. Sunray. It's got the magnetic ballast, which is very heavy. I used this for about a year or two before I got the ARRI HMI. It's worked great, but it started acting up with the bulb for striking. Sometimes it would strike, and then it seemed like the bulb broke, and then started working again. So I don't use it that much anymore unless I really need it. You can't find the bulbs for these anymore unless you find it out of an old unit. They're an odd kind of par bulb, which is not made anymore, or very expensive if you do find a new one. And then you can see the difference between the electronic ballast of the ARRI and the big boy of the Sunray. And this is probably 3 times the weight of this guy because it's all lead inside here. Also got scrims for the 1200 HMI there. Use those quite a bit. That comes with the unit. Another one of my favorite lights. I've got a 1K Moe Richardson 407 Fresnel. The barn doors and everything. These are really great, really handy, especially for inside, for just popping a little light in if you're balanced to tungsten. And they also work good just using on a feature last month where we needed like a little window light, not really to have the light come in, but just to brighten the window up. So once it gets dark, using tungsten outside with even gel is still gonna play pretty good, especially if you just want to light up the window and not like beam it in. So that's all we did was put CTO or CTB on it to gel it to daylight, put it outside, and it just illuminates the window where you know it's a window, but it wasn't like in the scene. It wasn't motivated from the window. The motivation for the key was on the other side. It was more of just an ambient wash of the window so you can see it. Now on the other side, for the actual key, we ended up using the 1200 ARRI because we wanted to hit the window but also pump light into the building as well. So one of my favorites. I usually have that on a dimmer all the time. Just really handy. Over here I've just got some Duvetine scraps from another job. Tons of little pieces. We had to do a bunch of little blocking out of some tight spaces, so I always have that. Down here I've got a Source 4 750. Another light I like to use inside quite a bit because if you want to bounce off the ceiling or something, this is really spotted in and it doesn't leak out the sides or anything, so you can really bang something into the ceiling and not have it spill everywhere and control it a lot better. This is a 19 degree, so it's really narrow and spotted in too. Down here I've got another tungsten Moe Richardson. This is a 2K Junior. Don't use that all the time unless they have an extra Jenny on set. I do have the Honda Jenny here, but it's a 2000 and then 1800 running, so I can't quite use the 2K because it'll blow the outlet. It won't take it. It's too much power. Do have a couple more tungsten units here. I got a 2K Mighty Mole, 2 2K Mighty Moles. I love using these. If I just need to light up like something in the background, you can just blast these in. If you want to light up a wall real quick, bounce them into the wall or just blast them into the wall just to bring up the exposure. Nice. They don't make quite the same beam as a Fresnel, but they're pretty sharp. It's just a little bit fuzzy, I would say, but they're great for background elements. Now, if you're trying to light someone with this directly, it won't look too great. You got to be bouncing it or really diffusing it to make it a key light. That's pretty much all of the tungsten units I've got. Now for LEDs, over here I've got a Amaran F22 RGB. These are great, super light. I can rig this up in very good places above talent and not have to worry about the weight most of the time. As well as I got this right here. It's a Vortex 8 LED panel, full RGB. This one's very heavy, so it's not good for rigging above talent, but it's great for keying or bouncing into a frame, book lighting, things like that. Even through a window during the day outside, it's great. I also usually bring a couple of the little Rosco DMG dashes that I can put in places to just pop up a little light, maybe under a lamp or in the lamp or somewhere from a doorway. Or sometimes I even just use it as a little fill on the face if I need it in a pinch. So there's actually some more tungsten back here that I forgot about. I've got a selection of smaller Moe Richardson units. I've got a 650, a 300, and a 150 in there, or a 200 actually. It's a Pepper. Real nice small tungsten units that are great for indoors. Sometimes just lighting like a table from above. We just do a little point above and light it just to bring up the ambiance of the table or to emphasize the table like it's a dining room scene or something like that. Now for expendables, I usually bring some, call it Visqueen or plastic wrapping. It's just plastic. This stuff's real cheap. I got tons of it from other shows that we don't use it all the time, but it's a ton in the roll, so we always bring that. If we got to black out a window and we don't want to use Duvetine because it's expensive, you can use that. Now I do have some regular Duvetine in a roll. That's good for doing other things, but kind of use it sparingly because it's expensive. It's like $2.70 for that roll, so quite a bit of money. But you charge, the client. But still, we try to use Visqueen when we can, unless it's going to be noisy. Then we use the Duvetine. Over here, I got gels. I've got 0.9. I've got 1.2, and then I've got a bunch of little freebies here in the bucket, like CTB, CTO, CTS. Some scraps of ND that I can use to quickly do a window, a small window, or even sometimes you can put it over a light if you run out of scrims. You can just use ND. I've done that sometimes. There's also a couple opals and 250s in there, smaller pieces. I've got some black wrap in there, down there. That's kind of the freebie bucket when I need a gel. Try to get something from that first, and then if not, we'll cut one from the actual roll and then charge whatever footage we use. So in here I've got, looks like some quarter grid. I've got some opal here that's been used up almost, and then I've got some more half. I got half CT orange too, so I've also got some crazy, like I've got one that's more like a fluorescent filter that's green. That's really cool if you want to get that fluorescent look without using an actual tube and getting the nasty green cast. You can use the gel over that if you don't have an RGB unit that can do it. Got rope over here for tying down frames. There's some more somewhere. I usually have 4 or 5 of them just in case. Got some cones in case we need them to block off a parking spot or whatnot. Usually bring a couple Fernie pads as well, maybe 4. They're great for just throwing down for talent, or even just putting equipment on to keep it a little bit more protected than if it was just on the dirt or something like that. And then under here, which comes underneath everything, I've got speed rail options. I've got like 2 10-footers, 2 5s, I think 2 7s, and 2 2s. Use those quite a bit for rigging. There's a couple more there. Also got some just random sheet metal lying around. I don't know why, but that was from another project. And then for rigging, I've got tons of options in here. Cheese burrows, swivel and fixed, some D-rings and whatnot. Tons of stuff in there. And then for my main rigging crate, I've got lollipops here. This always stays on the cart, so it's real close. Got raked gobos, Cardellinis, pythons here. Got safety cables, platypus over there, butt plug there, a bunch of stuff. Just quick and easy to grab when we need to. Alright guys, so that pretty much concludes the tour. Just want to give you a little rundown. If you want to see anything in particular, let me know. I'm going to be going over a few more things in detail, but if you like anything in particular, let me know. We'll see you next week.